Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division in the Winter Slopes Tournament. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Let's go. We're going to start off with hole number 1, which is a par 3. 1 bar of side spin to the left, 3 bars of side spin to the top, a yellow ring with the extra mile level 5 just by the rough there on the side. And then we do have the yellow ring. Picture yourself having it just before the tip of the bunker you can have there on the right. We're going to adjust this shot for being 20% extra with having the ball just outside to the right there of the adjustment ring. The thing that we do want to achieve here is that we do want the ball to follow the road here on the fairway, which is do absolutely lovely there, to fall back down there towards the pin. This is a hole where many players will be close, and I would say that everyone that is getting the ball to green is going to be within 5 yards to the pin, because the green is working in that way that the ball is basically funneled down towards the pin and to make an easy putt. Hard to make a hole in one though, but make sure you're using the road that we do have on the left, because that's the only way for us to get the hole in one on this par 3. So we're gonna go to hole number 2, and hole number 2 it's going to be a short par 4. Here we do need to make an eagle. If we don't make an eagle, then it's going to be like bye win, I will almost have to say. So the thing that we are going to do is that we're going to take and play with a ball with power 0. So a basic ball or a mauling ball, because we are going to otherwise be in between clubs in the way that I do want us to play it. And it's also good for us to not spend any special balls. We're going to add 10% extra to this adjustment as we are playing this one downhill. So you can see I'm having a Quasar, which is a power 1, and I'm going to change that. As you can see, I'm in between clubs here with my Viper and play with a mauling ball instead. You can see then now we do have some room instead. And I'm going to play max top, 4.5 bar top spin with 2.5 bar side spin to the right. Look at the second bounce in the center of the rough there on top. And that goes for having very low wind as this, and also crosswind, that there is going to be our aiming point. If we're going to have tailwind, let's say you have 4 miles per hour tailwind, then take away, so you do play with only 2.5 to 3 bars of top spin, and aim still at the same spot. And if you do have headwind, you go with max, but then you aim a little bit closer to the rough there on the top, because of the extended and the compressed ball guideline that we're going to get depending on the wind. So we get it to green, perfect. First bounce on fairway, second bounce in rough, then roll out to the green. And there is no, you don't have to be afraid if you roll off the green, because it's most likely going to stay on the fairway or on the fringe. But if you miss going to the rough, that's going to of course be a mistake, and we do want to be either close to the green or we're going to have to be on the green. So let's go hole number 3. And we're going to start off by telling you all that we're going to play this one with 20% extra adjustment. And that is because this hole is played massively downhill. And those 20% we're going to add to the wind for make it easier for us. So let's say 7.3 as our opponent is having would normally be more around 8.8, 8.9 in wind, and then we adjust from there. The reason we do that is because the ball is going to be affected more by the wind when we're playing downhill. As for when we play uphill, the ball is going to be less affected by the wind. It's a science of itself, and if you do have any questions about that, let me know in the comment section below. So our turn to take a shot, and we're going to play with a power 3 ball, and the power 3 ball in this case is going to be a Titan. I would say that in this case we could stay away from a Titan and play with a Katana instead, but I don't have any Katanas on the account, and then I will have to play with a Titan. And that Titan for the drive, not necessarily. But a Titan for the second shot is actually good. But the power 2 ball, a Katana, would be the best as for the maximum side spin. I have 4.5 bar side spin to the right. I do also go with max top spin, which is 4.5 bar with extra mile level 5. Now I have to turn the screen on to a different direction, because it's the trees are covering the way that I want to adjust for my rings, which of course is not going to be easy to make an adjustment like this. We bounce it very nicely over there and put ourselves in the center, in between the rough to the left and also to the bunker on the right, which is perfect. Finally, with a drive, we are going to have some curl. And with the wind pointing right to left, we go with as much curl we can to the right, as maximum one ball outside to the right of the adjustment ring. If we do have in minor like crosswind with headwind, we go with half a ball. If we do have straight tailwind, we go half a ball. If we do have wind left to right, we go with just a tiny bit of curl to the right, as we're otherwise going to over curl it, get into the bunker there in the center. Second shot, we do need to play with the big dog or another club that gives you a distance of 175 or more. 1 bar topspin, and as we are aiming pretty low here, and I do want to stay away from having to overpower our shot. Max side spin to the right as well, as we do want the ball to bounce into the right to follow like the way the green is standing. The only thing you will have to focus on here is not to get this ball in the hole, is to just get it to the green, because you can see, even though we roll down a lot, and we're going to get that ball very close and have a very close path to making an eagle. And that par 5 is going to be just so important to get an eagle, and it's not going to be necessary to get an albatross, because there will be it will not be that many players that will get an albatross on hole number 3. Hole number 4, before I take my shot, do not forget to check out patreon.com/golf/tommy. You will there be able to sign up for the package where you can get the updated text guides that gets out on Tuesday during tournament week with pinpointed information about the shots that you're going to take. And also, in that package, it includes getting the general text guides before everyone else already on Thursday before the tournament. Here, we're gonna take away, we can play with whatever ball we might like. I play with the Guardian level 1, which could in this case be it's not the best decision maybe. The Guardian is working well in terms of the backspin, but you can see the ball guideline, we can't even see the second bounce hitting the green, and that's going to be very, very hard to estimate. So if you do have like a Viper level 4, level 5 or more, then that is going to be better to play with. Now I do play this one 2.5 rings, which is going to be slightly over adjusted. We will have to have in mind though, but we're playing it with 10% over adjustment as for the downhill and over the water approach. But in the end, it's definitely going to be important to be a little bit closer than that. But that is a very tough par 3, and if we get it to green, we're going to be happy with it, and we're going to take the birdie and go through, because there will be very few hole-in-ones on that par 3. Last but not least, on that par 3, we can aim up and be on the bottom of the fairway instead. If we do not have that much backspin, we can aim further down and then bounce up from that position. So, hole number 5, and I think it's time to make an albatross now, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to start by going with max topspin and max side spin to the right. The max topspin on Extra Mile 5 is 4.5 bar topspin, and I'm going to play with a power 3 ball. And if you do have a bunch of kingmakers or katanas, I would rather take that, especially in tailwind, with the side spin 3. But side spin 2 is going to be working with the Titan here. And max topspin, as I said, 4.5. Don't go with more than 5 bars of topspin, because then you will risk going into the rough that you do have on the left side. And we do just want this ball to stop on the fairway, either short or getting a little bit distance here. You can see we're rolling quite a bit far, which is perfect. And now we do find ourselves in a situation here where we're going to have two-way approach. And before I explain about that, I'm going to just to add with our drive that we're going to have to add 10% to our drive as well, because we're playing it slightly downhill. Important to have in mind. And we also went with max curl to the right, and you can see max curl is half the ball outside the adjustment ring to the right. And that is going to be a decent way, if I would say, with curl. If we do have a club with more curl, be aware of not using max on that. If you can go way more than that, like half a ball to a ball outside to the right would be perfect. So, two-way approach. One approach is to go by the rough bump here, using the yellow ring with the backbone just by the top there. 2 bars of topspin, and that will, in this case, when we aim straight at the hole, will get the ball to the hole as well. We're not going to add anything for elevation here, we're just going to play it as it is, but really have in mind here that if you do over adjust or you're using too little topspin, that's why I say 2 bars of topspin, because otherwise you can get not stuck into rough, but you can roll up to the green and fall back down. If you would be having a club with, I would say, 7 bars backspin or more, you can go directly onto the green and play directly on the green, play up to the top right, and get the ball to fall back down, falling down in kind of like a stream down towards the pin. But in rookie, we most likely will not have a Saturn level 7, level 8. So that's why I'm showing the rough bump, because in my opinion, with the rookie clubs, it's definitely the best way to get an albatross. Hole number 6. Hole number 6 is a par 4 that we have been playing a lot. I'm going to go here 4.5 bar topspin as I'm playing with a basic ball. I do want to aim into the shadow that we do have on the fairway, but as we're going to have snow now and the trees most likely will not be there, then it's going to be very tough to have any shadows to work with. So the important part there is to not use more than 4.5 bar topspin, and you want to aim at the point where it's maximum distance with a basic ball or a Marlin ball, because it has power 0. If you have a power 3 ball or you have a power 2 ball, then only go with 3 bars of topspin. Otherwise you will come in too hot and potentially put yourself in the rough on top there. We do want to use with 4 miles per hour or more side wind to the left. We do want to use 2 bars of side spin to the right. Yes, so we don't go that close as our opponent did there. And last but not least, we're going to add 5% extra to our adjustment for the drive, as it's slightly downhill. Not much, but slightly. Second shot, this one is actually going to be played uphill. So this time we're going to subtract, we're going to take away 10% of our adjustment here. And that's not something that we do often, but it's actually what we need to do here. I'm having the big dog, which might not be the best club in this situation, but to counter for the risk of going short with my drive, it's important to have length for my second shot. But I'm only having 2.5 bar backspin and have no ball guideline to work with. So in that case, we do need to, if we do have tailwind in the tournament, then we need to change wood club and play with a wood club that do have at least 3.5 bar backspin. Second bounce should be on fringe. Now we're coming in a little bit too hot, which unfortunately rolling a bit too far on the green for my taste. Hole number 7, the last par 3 that we do have. And first, I'm going to start by adding 2.5 bar backspin. We do want to make sure that we're going to adjust this one 10% extra than normal as we're playing this one downhill. And then we need to add, because it's affected more by the wind, as now I'm repeating myself, but the second bounce should be there on fringe. That's what I'm looking for. Yellow ring with the Goliath just by the rough there to the right. And as you probably notice here now, or will notice, is that I'm over adjusting my shot here. And I'm not in maximum distance of my club, but I do adjust for maximum distance with 10% extra, which is going to make myself go short. You can see my bounce is just over the rough there, and I need to work less with my adjustment there to get it to bounce where I want to. But you can see the thing there is that I want the ball to get up over the hill, fall back down towards the pin for a potential hole-in-one. But other than that, this hole isn't that tricky, but we just want to make sure that we're staying away from the rough and from the sand that we do have there on the top, because that will make it be a very, very tough shot to go with. Our opponent there is going to what can I say? Our opponent there is going with a Marlin ball And again, you can play with whatever ball here. I show with a basic ball, but with wind right to left, and I would be going with a wind with a little bit of side spin. Last par 4, and here it's time to go for green again. Not in this example though, because in every single time I've been making a guide of this hole, I have been going for the fact that we should be getting tailwind in the tournament and that we're going to go green. So if you do want to see that example, you can see that on in the Tour 5 list of the green point. You can see me go for green on this hole as well. But the thing that I want to show here is for those of you that might not feel that secure of going with maybe some overpower, those that don't feel that secure of their adjustment, but want to have a safe and alternative approach to at least secure the birdie, but still have a good chance for the eagle from distance. Our opponent lay up there close to the top on the right. I don't agree with that, as we don't have that much green to play with from that position. So the thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to play left. And this route applies for crosswind and headwind every time. When we have tailwind, I would suggest that if you're looking for a safe eagle and also for a way to maybe get an easy eagle to go for the win in the tournament, then you will have to go for the green with tailwind, even though you don't feel secure about that shot. So I'm going to adjust down before the rough there, and first we need to add 15%. Yes, 15, or like it is 5-1. I don't know why I changed hands like that, but in the end 15% extra, 2 bars of topspin to get over the rough and the sand, and to just put ourselves very nicely up there on the fairway. From that position we do have a short iron towards the pin, and that is going to always be a good opportunity for us when we can play with our short iron towards the pin. Our opponent here going with the short iron as well, but as you can see, the Apache in this case will only have 1 bar backspin, and you can see how little we do have how little we do have here to work with. And that is going to be something that we really need to have in mind, that if we're going to play safe and go for the short iron approach from distance, then we'll play left. So I'm going to go with the Hornet here. Hornet in a very low level, and the Hornet here has 2 bars of backspin, and I'm going to play with those 2 bars here. And this shot we're going to play from the distance there is. Like if we are in medium distance, we play medium. If we are in maximum, we play maximum. And we're going to add 10%. So important with 10% to add that to this shot to get it close. But again, to just summarize with hole 8, tailwind, you will have to try to go for it. Sure, you risk going into the water, but best case scenario, you're going to be on the green or very close to the green for a potential eagle. And if we do have headwind, crosswind, we play left, play it safe, and then take it from there. Last but not least, I'm going to show you a guide here where I'm actually playing with beginner clubs. The reason I do that is that all the Vineyard Acres hole that you have seen here in this example, or like in this playthrough, is not possible to find in the regular tour play. So to be able to make this guide with Vineyard Acres, I had to use all the recordings, and therefore I only have a recording from tee with only beginning clubs from a tournament way back in the day. But this is basically how it's going to look. We're not going to have any trees on the left side. We usually have trees there in the middle. And if we do have tailwind, we have the opportunity with a power 3 ball and a driver with at least 230 yards of distance. We do have or like I would say 225 yards of distance. We'll be having the option to go and drive over the bunker on the right, to use side spin to the left, and 2 to 3 bars of top spin to get to the top of the fairway to the right. That's the only way for us to be able to have a shot for the pin in 2. This is a very tough par 5, and if we do not have the distance, and if we do have headwind, or if we do have crosswind, we will have to play it in the way that I did. Sure, we are going to have some top spin, going to gain more yards, but the fact for all the approaches in that way, and that's why I can show this one with beginner clubs, is that we're going to end up in almost the same type of situation here. The only thing that we're going to be able to do is that we're going to be able to reach a little bit further with the wood club that is not a beginner wood club, but we will not be able to reach for the pin in 2 if we're not reaching to the top right of the fairway with our drive. The second shot is played just as it is, no elevation adjustment whatsoever. The drive, we add 10% to that drive as we're playing that shot downhill, very important. And most of the cases, we're going to find ourselves in the spot where I ended up there with. And then we're going to have a short iron or a long iron towards the pin. And that's going to be a good opportunity. It's not going to be a secure eagle for us on this par 5. We will have to work for it. But if you do get it, that's going to be a huge advantage for you compared to the opponents that you're going to play against. So you can see a beginning club doesn't really make sense in this case, and we will just have to have in mind here that we make sure that we at least for this very tough par 5 that we at least put ourselves on the fairway for a possibility to make this eagle from distance. And the only way, I repeat myself a lot, but it's important, the only way we can reach for the green in 2 is to get to the top right of the fairway with our drive. And that can only happen if we do get some tailwind with our drive and we can play over the rough and the sand to the right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this playthrough. You can check down in the video description, you can find links to Patreon and links to Golf Clash United on Facebook, Team Golf Clash Tommy Facebook page as well, and also the direct timestamps to the specific holes in this playthrough. If you do have any questions, I will be there and help you out together with the team with your questions. And I can only wish you the best of luck in the Winter Slopes tournament, and hopefully you're going to bring home that score that you do really want to do. And again, a last shout out for the updated text guides and general text guides that you can get through patreon.com/golfclashtommy. The video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and again, I repeat myself, good luck in the Winter Slopes tournament.